Tinubu's government is bad. Goodluck Jonathan's government, terrible. Yaradua's government, oh my God, so bad. Obasanjo's government, so bad. This is the same thing we've been hearing over and over since time immemorial. But the question now is, will a good president elected through the wrong or the right means bring about the change that we want? Here's what I mean. Everybody or a lot of people agree that Yaradua was the best president we've had in a while. But then when he came, he said that the electoral process that brought him, he faulted the electoral process. So does it mean that, so does it mean that the electoral process or the process that brings a leader or a president has the ability to affect their morality or their performance? Question number 2, will the right electoral process, can it bring about the change that we are looking for, a good electoral process? Because a lot of times Nigerians say we vote who we want and they gave us who they wanted. Yeah. And this has made a lot of people lose hope and confidence in the system. Yeah. Right? So you tell people to come out and vote, they tell you no, because even if I vote, it doesn't count. They'll still give us who they want. So having the right electoral process, will it give us the change that we want? And then the last question, is a change of party going to bring about the change that we want? So people say APC is the problem, APC is the problem, or PDP is the problem, PDP is the problem, opposition party, but they are not doing anything, they are the problem. So if we change the political party and move to ADC or we move to NDC, will that bring the change that we want? That's what I want to talk about. But let's start from the first question. Will a right president elected through the right or the wrong electoral process bring about the change that we want?
Anyway, this is a very, very good questions. But, if I'm to clear the air first, whatever process that brought in someone, it is not, there is no wrong, because at the end of the day, you won.
Yes. You mean the winning is the...
Yes,
okay, just let him make it.
So winning is the main thing there, understand? Like, in Nigeria, I won't say that there have been a worse electoral process or a good one. Just like as it is, like you must have a winner and you must have the aggrieved ones. Now the aggrieved one claim that it is wrong because they are not winning. Of which, if we change it, if they are the one winning, they will not complain. So every process of election in Nigeria so far has been good. Now, when the late President Yaradua, with due respect, said the process
that brought him in was flawed.
That now brought in him was flawed. Now, if he was a good man and a saint,
he should have resigned.
If a process that brought you in was flawed, so why don't you just say, okay, let us cancel this, let us go back and redo this election? Understand? So everybody just want to say what they want to say, understand, until you are the winner. But when you are the loser, you have all the blames to blame. You want to drag them to court, that the process is bad. So far, let me just say, in Nigeria so far, I don't think there's a bad
electoral process
so far. Since the time of Obasanjo up to now, all the process has been good. And so far, in all this process, we have seen presidents being elected. We have seen Obasanjo came in, Yaradua came in, Goodluck came in,
now
Buhari came in, Tinubu too came in. Even the process of Tinubu was very, very clean and fair.
Okay, so I think Mr. Bassi will beg to differ. Mr. Bassi, let's hear you.
Sometimes... Okay, particularly, he said something about how that the process through which somebody comes to power.
Yeah, does it have the ability to affect their moral compass when they are in power?
I carefully wrote some of these things down so that we'll make sure that we are on course with whatever it is we are trying to answer. If somebody, for example, sometimes you walk on a path and you see that people have defecated on the path. Yes. If everywhere was defecated, you are clean. And you walk through those defecated areas.
You step on it now.
You step on them. And then when you come out,
you smell.
So I personally believe that the route through which somebody comes to power has a way of affecting their morality. Besides, even somebody who is morally sound will not go through some routes.
Okay.
Right? So that is why, going back to what Yaradua said, if you see what he said and how his government turned out, some of us believe that he was he has the potential of being the best president.
Even
and in 2
people
years,
still stand by that school of
people,
thought.
a lot of people
that
say
in
he's
the
the
last
best
couple of years,
president.
he
How many
happens to.
people have ever admitted that they came to power the right way?
But he didn't resign, regardless of the fact that
Tinubu
he
said
came
something.
into
Yes,
a
Tinubu
flawed
said
system.
something about he was not involved in the part. Because I think if he was involved, he wouldn't have said it. He said he knew. Because a party, that's what we call structure in Nigeria. What a lot of people say somebody has structure is people who will do the dirty work for them. They will tell you, what structure does the party have? I'm not going to vote for a party that does not have structure. What they mean by structure particularly is when they have people who will do their work, like APC saying they have a lot of structures. It's because these governors who are defecting to APC, what they are going to do is that they are going to make sure that they do the dirty work in their states. How many states does this party have? Do you understand? The other two are coming out to say that he knew, or it's not. He feels like, or he knows that that at some point is flawed. If you are susceptible to fraud, that means you are originally fraudulent, because what makes you who you are is not about, it's you being able to be susceptible to follow a particular process. There are people, they don't want to be part of the fraud from the onset. For example, we've seen where P2B said something about how that he doesn't want a primary where you have to pay people to vote. I don't have to pay anybody to do anything, because if I pay you and I buy your loyalty, I would have to keep buying and paying for it when we get there. That is how this politics of godfatherism comes in, right? Where you agree, okay, you bringing in so and so. So that process is already flawed, and you don't expect. Look at what happened in Abia State in the last 8 years. Somebody called Okezi Bazo, who was the president for 8 years.
Governor.
Yes, governor for 8 years, and he owed people who were working in the politics. I'm not telling you something that happened in Yugoslavia. I have some people that were members of my church, who were lecturers in the school when I was in Aba, who were owed 30-something months.
That's how many years?
Exactly. The state could not pay them because the money was being given to the godfathers who brought him to power. So the process has a way of effect, no matter how good. Some people said when they go on to him, sometimes they see him crying. He said he has a lot of things he wants to do with the state, because maybe he does not have the funds to do it because of his entanglements. Because he's not free to do those things because of the people who are there, and because of people who put him there. Look at Alex Oti. Alex Oti, there's no godfather anywhere. Now look at what is happening in Abia State. Okay, let me even mention the process again. There was a lady that was paid by the opposition party. It's there on the internet. Yes, he said they wanted to buy her. She refused. This is also the process. Do you know how clean that process is? The people stood for their vote, fought for that vote. Even when the last person who was supposed to rig that election was promised to be paid social amount of money, she refused. And look at what is happening in Abia State. So a process has a way of producing somebody who will be the good. So, like somebody who is clean, I've taken my bet, I don't smell shit, right? Then I might walk on a path that is shit. If I go through that path and come out, I will smell shit because I've gone through the path of shit. So the path has a way of affecting the person. We were talking about Yaradua saying that we said he's one of the best presidents Nigeria has ever had.
People still uphold that school of thought.
Now he's saying the process that brought that time PDP. What you people call structure is the fact that these people have the capacity to rig election. That's what you call structure.
Say that.
Yes, because we have about 30-something states now, about 34 or so that are APC states, right? In Nigeria, maybe up to 30 states that are APC states, according to what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. What they now boast of structure, they said they have structure. What does that structure mean? Look at what Wike did in Rivers State. Wike came out on the internet and said he did it. That he did it.
So, Mr. Bassi, I'm going to have to crave your indulgence. You have to have some of these facts right before you confidently state them out. Because freedom of speech is guaranteed, but freedom after speech, I don't know for you.
Yes.
So, but you have to be sure of this.
No, he said it.
What did he say particularly?
What he said is that he made Atiku lose election. How can you make somebody lose election? If not that if you see that somebody is winning election and he has a way of changing it, how do you make somebody lose election? If I appeal to your conscience and say, please vote for this person, I did not make the person lose election.
Of course.
Yes, I did not. So for you to say you really worked against, what does he mean by working against? That was the structure he was trying to protect when he was fighting this person. So what is the structure about? The structure is for a way to contaminate the process. So that is why Can you become the governor of your state?
I'm not. You know, we're not having a dual conversation. There's somebody on the other
No,
side.
he's already made his point.
Yeah,
Because
he still has to bring him in somewhere. Don't keep
we'll
looking at me.
No, he's not responsible to bring
So-
him in.
Yeah,
He
but
said
you don't have to
stop
keep
talking,
looking
I'll
at
stop
me
talking.
now.
You know,
so
see,
I
I
want
should look at him at some
yes.
point.
sometimes, yes, you
Because
have
you
to.
know what?
Because you
Because
were
you know
talking
why?
before.
No, let me
Because
look
you
at
know,
him.
because no,
It's the last line I want to say now.
and I
We
would
need to move
still
on.
like to ask,
Yeah, because you didn't quite answer
understand,
the question.
Good.
But did I try
You,
to answer?
yes,
Yeah.
thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Okay,
Don't thank me, thank God.
Okay, good. And I would still like to come in, when we talk about structure. You understand? I like my brother here.
Briefly.
Me, I
Yeah.
love you.
You
My
understand,
brother in the Lord.
Yeah. So I like my brother here. The way he tries his best to narrate politics outside the structure. Understand? So now I'll just let me just ask her, when you are building your home, do you build your home based on structure or you just build? Is there a structure, a particular structure that you have
Model
in
or
mind,
design.
or
Model,
model
yeah.
or design
No,
that you want to use?
definitely,
for
that's
your
the
house?
structure.
Okay, fine then.
The building itself is the
Okay.
structure itself.
Okay, fine. And so, in your family, is there a structure
Yes, there is.
that they follow? Okay, in the working place. is
Where are
there
you
a
headed with
structure?
this, Mr.
No, no,
James?
no,
now?
no, no, no,
Let's
no, no,
wait
no,
for
no,
him
no.
to land.
So, good. Even when you went
And use your mic, please. Thank you.
Okay, good. Even in your school, there was a structure.
Yeah.
Understand? In everything that moves and performs,
There's a structure.
There's a structure.
We are still waiting
So
for
now,
the end of
when
this.
it comes to politics, why do you have issue with structure?
You see the problem?
Now that,
So,
no, no,
so
no,
that's what
no, no,
he's
no,
trying
excuse
to
me.
say.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
So-
I'm saying.
I don't have-
give us.
I don't have issues.
No,
Mr. James.
no,
I don't have issues with the
excuse me.
structure.
If we are
Now
about
you
to do
have
it again.
issue with
I have
structure.
issues with criminal structure.
No, you have
again.
issue with structure because
Mr.
you know
James,
why?
this is what I need you
Because
to do.
you are coming from Peter Obi.
This is what I
class
need you.
of
This is what I
politics.
need you to do,
Understand?
Mr. James.
No
And we need
structure.
you to be able to counter Bassey properly. You need to give us an idea of what this political structure looks like.
Okay,
Just the
fine.
way you've broken down
Now,
that of the home and
This
all
is
of that.
what structure is.
Because he says
Understand?
structure is
Listen
the
now.
ability to
No, no, no.
rig an election.
No, no, no,
But
no,
you
no.
That's
tell
what
us
it means to them.
Today,
This
so you
is
tell
what-
us what
excuse
it
me,
means.
you
Human
know-
beings are the structures, right?
Listen.
You tell us
If I
what
can
it
start
means.
there and vote and protect my
Listen
vote,
now,
that's the
listen now,
structure.
listen now,
But
listen.
setting up systems that
This is
would
what structure is.
interfere with people's will. Have you seen people
Let me
that were
not
beaten
clear
in the
you.
last election?
Let him tell
People
us.
that
me
were
not
hurt,
clear-
people that were
listen now.
wounded.
Listen now. Let
That's
me
the
not
structure
tell
they are
you-
talking about.
Listen now. Let me not tell you what structure is.
Just briefly tell
In
us.
Nigeria politics, this is structure. And I think there have been this structure years down till today. Understand? Now, in politics, you must have a structure. Now,
What is this structure?
Now, this is what this a structure is. Now, first of all, as a politician, now you are coming from a local government. Understand? So you need your local government people
To back you.
to back you, and in them backing you, now you create a support group system. Understand? Where you have people that handle some special position. Understand? Align with your activities and the thing that you really want to do. Understand? Now you build up this structure as a governor, or as a senator, or as a rep, because why? These are the people that will campaign for you. Understand? These are the
That
people
will push your vision and all of that.
will push your vision, try to convince other people why you are the best. Understand? Now, those are the structures. So, in a state, as a governor, now you have your state structures. These are your people. Other party too and other candidates have their own people. Like a man, like now, in my father's house, we are four. Understand? I have my own family. That is my structure. Understand? Now my brother too has his own. Then when you put all of us together, we are our father's structure. Understand? So
Okay,
now
so,
that
you
is
need to-
it. Yeah. So
so
now
we can
when
move
it
on.
comes to governorship, that is it. Now when you come to presidency, now that structure now goes around the whole 36 states.
States, yeah.
Now why that structure goes around the 36 states, so that you know who your people are and they know you, people that believes in you. Understand? Even in the church, we have the donor mix, the family worship center. Like everybody have their own people, and they will
Okay.
defend it. So those are the structure. Now, structure are there to support a candidate, their belief candidates, and to push his drive.
What do you mean
and
by
his,
support?
and
We need
his
to move
vision.
on. We've been able to clearly
So
answer
for
the
you
first
saying
question.
structure is politics, maybe you don't really understand the
So let's
like
move
the
to the next
political
question, Mr.
structure.
James.
There is nothing corrupt in a structure.
So the next question is,
Understand?
I don't quite agree with you anyway. For you to say that there's nothing
There,
that the
there
system
is
is
nothing
you know-
corrupt
there's
in
nothing wrong
To
with
round
the
off from
system
this
and all
structure,
of that.
Understand.
or this structure idea, Mr. James.
There is nothing
Do you know that-
corrupt
You know we
in
can't
a
dwell on this.
structure.
I know we can do a lot of
Yeah.
but this is
Understand.
where
So,
the issue
understand.
builds from. This is where the foundation comes from.
And now,
See,
let me say to hope you know that when they say a certain politician, understand, that wear black and black every day, does not have a structure. You know, it makes me laugh. Understand? When he moves, they move. Those are structure.
Are you sure
You
that's
might not-
actually
no, no, no,
structure
excuse
or
me.
is
Now,
fear
listen,
of
no,
tyrancy
Listen,
or what's the word now?
Listen, listen. When he moves, they move. Go to Anambra State recently, Anambra, Abia State, and the rest. It's in the news. They have built structures. It is called obedient structure. Understand? Those are his own structure. Those are his people. So you want to tell me that because they have a structure, it is a corrupt one?
So let's move on, guys. Let's not dwell too much on that. Mr. Basi
Yeah.
has made his point. You have also made your point about, how the structure, this and that.
Yeah.
But the question still remains, ultimately,
Yeah.
does this process, whether right or wrong, does this process bring the change? Does it affect the change that we say we want as a country or as a people?
Now, when you say changes, not everybody loves changes. Understand? There are people, when you are moving forward, they are not happy. Like some people just want you to remain where you are. Like the issue of subsidy.
So I still need you to be able to
Now-
tie your answer to
Now the thing
that
is,
ultimately.
whether the process is good or is bad, of which there is no bad process as far there is a candidate that won that election. Understand? Now, making that person a good president or a wrong president, it depends on what the person stands for. His morality. Who
What does
he
it
is.
bring about the
Understand?
change? Will it bring change? Will we see something distinctly different from what we are seeing today?
Excuse me. Every president that comes in brings in different changes. So definitely there will be changes. There will be good changes that some people are happy with it, and there will still be good changes that some people think it is bad and they are not happy with it.
Okay. Basi.
okay,
Yeah.
in the context of morality, he said something that he said whether or not the
The process is good or bad as long as there's a
as long
candidate.
as there is a
Yeah.
candidate. So he spoke about morality, that it now boils down to the person's
individual,
morality,
yeah.
irrespective of the electoral process.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that because
Yeah, but
your
whether
morality
it's
transcends.
okay for you not to agree with that, but the question still
yes, I'm
remains
going to
that
answer this question because the morality you get, the process you get yourself involved speaks a lot about your own morality. I can't get involved in a fraudulent process, and I will be, parading myself as a moral warlord
Upright
or whatever.
person.
Yes, or upright person. While I'm engaging in fraudulent processes, I'm telling people, I'm telling my structure to beat other people and rig election for them.
Even
So
if you don't
that election-
openly,
because if I
openly
think
tell them, if you endorse those things, it's still as good as you doing them yourself.
exactly,
You might not
if
be the
you
one to get
endorse-
your
if
hand
you-
dirty,
yes,
but you're
if you
endorsing
don't-
those things, those
then
actions.
people, I will get people who are like me involved in my process, right? Because him saying P2B structure and Tinubu structure, for example, in the last election, people who were there, people stole ballot boxes where P2B
Yeah.
was winning. It was obvious. Is it P2B structure that was doing it? No. But what I'm saying that what structure means to these people is the wrong thing. People that will rig elections. So I am saying that the process can contribute up to 50, 60, 70% to producing the change that we want because Nigerians know what they want. Nigerians know what they
think
want.
this brings me to my next question.
Yes, Nigerians know what they want, right? You know who you want to vote for. You know somebody who has spoken to your conscience.
Yeah.
You know somebody that their attitude or whatever it is that they are doing, their track record
Aligns with me or
yes,
agrees,
aligns
yes.
with you, and you know who you want to vote for. But that day, the woman that came out to vote that got injured here in her eyes, they were stopping her to vote for who she wanted to vote for. Have you seen the process I'm talking about? So if the process was okay, if the process was straightforward, you are allowed to come and vote, and you are sure that there will not be contamination in the process. It will by 50 Some of the presidents who produced wouldn't have produced them. Like the last election, I still believe that who we produced in the last election wouldn't have won if the process, if the process, because we are talking about the process.
So give me, but there's
So
a question at the tail end.
Yes,
That's what I want us to answer
the process
before
is,
we move on quickly.
can it bring the change? Yes, it can, because if the process was the right process, what I mean by the right process is if these fraudulent structures we are not there, or I'm not saying anybody should not have their structure. I'm saying that your structure canvas for whoever you want. Try to convince people, but on that day of the election, don't use that your process to subjugate other people, to hurt other people. Allow me to exercise my franchise, vote and go. You come and vote your own and go, and then let's allow that clean process to produce who it should, who the people want to produce. I'm not saying that the numbers will not, but 50%, 60% of the times, a majority of people know who they want, but because of this fraudulent process, they will keep on producing who they enforce themselves on.
Okay, so what's part of what you said, I feel like it's quite intertwined with the next question I'm about to ask. So the next question says, will the proper electoral process bring the change we want? Which is sort of what you've answered at the tail end of what you're, But before we even go on to talk about that and the question after that, something comes to mind, regarding from what all you people have said. We were saying that the Nigerians have the intelligence to vote who is right for us and all of that. But the question is, before even that comes, the question is, can we ever, at any point, as a country, as a nation, structure, no structure, process, and all of that, have an electoral process that we can trust to be free, to be fair, and to be smooth? Can we ever? Will we ever get to such a point?
I also go back to the foundation, Mr. James. Let me answer, then you answer. I always go back to how the selection process works, right? The president chooses the INEC chairman. That's sort of like a very wrong way of doing that, because if I'm appointed, there's this kind of solidarity that I owe to this person. I wish that position is elective, and not, elective, I mean, is by the larger populace. Yes. So not necessarily that the president has to stand up, because during the time of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, they were advising him to remove, is it Jega or who? Yes. They say this man is going to do something about whatever and all that. There was a lot of complaints that he should remove him. You still see what I'm talking about. If he removes him, if he brings in another person, the person will be like, I owe this man my loyalty. So he might see something that he's supposed to do something about, but because it affects his chairman the wrong way, principle, he will just remove. And so
what are you saying in essence?
What I'm saying in essence is this process, like what we are trying to say is, if the Nigerian populace has the intelligence.
No, before talking about the intelligence, can we say that at any point you think we'll ever get to a point where we can comfortably have faith or confidence in the system, and say that the selection will be free, fair, and smooth?
This is why I brought up this process. If the selection process is still like this, it's going to be difficult. I'm thinking that the process will still be somehow contaminated because of solidarity.
Mr. James, let me hear your own perspective.
Okay, let me use this example first. In the for the past 2 weeks now, a group of unrighteous believers of democracy, they have been protesting against the INEC chairman, believing because Tinubu brought in, that the process and what he is doing, it wasn't fair, because it took out David Mark name, this and
from
that.
The INEC.
Now, when they went to Supreme Court, immediately Supreme Court gave the judgment. INEC man fixed their name back. All of them were happy.
Yeah.
When the Attorney General dragged them to court again, that led them deregister the party. It was INEC that stood against the Attorney General. Nobody blamed the INEC chairman. Now you see the people that we have in this system. Now you see this self-righteous that they want to make the Nigeria good. Why the goodness is an opportunity for them to find a way to fill up their pockets. Understand? Now, when it goes well for them, now the INEC chairman is good. When he goes back, it was Tinubu that brought him in.
I need you to be able to answer the question. Do you think that at any point we can say that our electoral process will be free, fair, and smooth?
Now you see the electoral process. Let me tell you something you should know. Nigeria electoral process has always been good. Now the issue.
I beg to differ, Mr. James.
Excuse me.
No,
let me
I
talk.
said I beg to differ for a reason,
good,
because
good.
for the first time,
I
let
want
me
to say
take you
something.
back memory
I
lane.
want to say.
Okay, finish
so
your
that
point
I
so you
should
don't
not
forget. Yes.
Very, very good. Now you see the electoral process so far that we have engaged in, that I've seen so far. Understand that it has been good. Why? Because in every election there must be a winner and there must be.
So
You
because
said
there's
this
a
before,
winner,
but it
and a
doesn't quite
loser,
answer the question.
I
so
am
that-
coming now. There must be a winner and there must be a loser. As far as there is somebody crying, they will still try to blame the process. So if I'm to answer this your question, yes.
So
the
you can say
electoral
that
process,
we can say that election free, fair, and so. Okay,
it has
so
been free,
I
fair, and
beg
good.
to